Yeah, shalom, Mark. GMS Napash. I've got the brother with me.
Mark Kwam.
Right, and yeah, we're gonna entitle this one. You know, we're not your typical Israelites. You know, in normal Israelite lifestyles, you know, be much like today in the sense where you just get on with your daily stuff. You know, you go work, you come home, you know, you have your food ready until your woman's cooking for you, hopefully. You know, and you know, that's like a daily thing that goes on. That cycle goes on a daily basis. Okay, you don't really think too much, you know, about certain things. You know, as long as you're keeping the law, you know, back then, and you just getting on with your things, it was all good. You know, everyday life kind of stuff. But us as men, the Lord, you know, we don't get to have the same luxuries as regular Israelites would have done. Okay, and the same applies now in this time. You know, you got other camps out there, you know, that are, you know, call them family Israelites and that kind of stuff. And not to say there's anything wrong with having family in that, but you know, in this truth, it's hard to maintain a good family in this world. It's hard to maintain a good anything, you know, if you're really about this work, because you have to put that first. And Yahweh Shai, you know, explained these things to us, you know, back when he was on the scene. And you know, it's not easy to, if you have things, to balance them and, you know, still do the work of the Lord, you know, with all of your spirit, you know, all of your mind. Okay, because you have to, you know, deal with other things that are outside of the work of the truth. You know, it takes some of your time away, you know, and your energy. Okay, but you know, we're not in a position, being called to do this work, you know, we're not in a position to enjoy what things are seen as more luxury things now for us, even though they're not really luxury things, but we don't get the time to enjoy them. Okay, simple things like family and stuff like that. You know, we do our best for those who have families, who got wives and children and whatever. We do our best, but it ain't never gonna be enough for them. Okay, and that's just the truth, man. I think I remember, was it Elder Rakar, Apostle Rakar? He said to me, you know, you're never gonna win a Dad of the Year award or something to that extent, man. Yeah, you know, and that's just the truth of the matter, man. Because we have to put this word first. Our families don't come first, because in our minds, you know, if it comes down to it, we have to be prepared to, you know, leave them behind if it becomes, you know, a hindrance to us. You know, we are prepared to forsake all things. Okay, and that doesn't, you know, that's not just material things. That's, you know, things that are, you know, are more substantial than just material things. Okay, but you know, we're gonna let the scripture speak, and we'll expand on certain things. I've got a couple of articles here because, you know, realistically, we're like military soldiers in this truth. Okay, and you know, the lifestyle that they live, you know, in the military now is kind of similar to how we are, or how we live, you know, in this world in some cases. You know, so we kind of like that when it comes to interactions with people. Okay, but we're gonna start with the scriptures, brother. You can get me Luke chapter 14 and verse 26, please, Baba Kusha. You know, so you know, it's not easy to balance. You know, I'm sure those of us that have other halves and stuff like that, you know, they always say they're probably unhappy. Okay, because there's always shit that, you know, I mean, they got shit to deal with too, because they're emotional, they're insecure creatures. You know, but we got a job to do, and that job has to come first. You know, and that's amongst going to work for Esau to earn, you know, money for daily bread. You know, to help feed your family. You know, they want to spend time with you. They want to go out and do things. You know, your child, you know, he wants to go do things and spend time with you and that. And sometimes you just don't have the time or the energy to give them. Okay, and you know, that's an effect of being in this world and, you know, working in this truth, man. Our energy and our time is spent, you know, with the word, you know, and battling demons, you know, because demons just, you know, you battling your own demons, man, takes energy out of you, man. And you know, when you see your family and that, because they're not completely right, you know, and they ain't going to be completely right until the king, just as we are not, you know, perfect, okay? But it vexates you, you know, sometimes being around them and the things that they're doing, you know. And you know, if you're quick on the gun, man, all you're going to do is have arguments after arguments after arguments consistently all the time. Sometimes we have to bite the bullet, you know, and we just chill. We try to ignore it to the best we can sometimes, man. You know, but sometimes it's a bit too much, and sometimes you need to be away from them. You know, because it gets to that point sometimes. I speak for myself, you know, I can only presume, but I speak for other brothers also that are in that position. You know, but it gets like that sometimes. Okay, but yeah, brother, yeah, grab me that piece.
Yeah, so lucky. I don't want to interrupt you in the speech. I know brothers in the spirit, man, but you know, all praises to Yahweh HaShem.
Yeah, it's lucky.
And double honors to the apostles, man, and the elders. This is Luke 14:26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
So this is what Yahweh Shai said. Okay, he told us that if any man come to me and hate not his father, his mother, his wife's children, his brethren, okay, then he's not fit to be a disciple, to be his disciple. Now, that's not saying that you have to hate your mother, your brother, your father. What it's really saying is that you have to be prepared, because the thing is with the truth, right? It creates a barrier. The truth creates a barrier. Those that are within the truth and those that are not in the truth, because they can't understand. You know, when Yahweh Shai came, he kind of turned everything upside down in a sense. You know, he brought the true understanding of the scriptures, man, and where it wasn't, you know, cohesive with the current ideas of the word, let's put it that way, okay, because they didn't have the full understanding. When Yahweh Shai come to expound it, they didn't agree with it, man. They thought you're aliens. Like, what the hell is he talking about? You know, and they hated the Lord because of that. Now, because of the hate against the Lord and what he was bringing, the full understanding, that hate now turns upon you as those that follow him. So for you to follow the Lord and you know, and his teachings, his doctrine, it causes a rift for those that don't believe. Okay, so when the Lord's, you know, what's that word? You know, when the Lord comes to you, man, to recruit you, okay, there's a big shift that happens, man. You got to change everything about yourself. You got to change the way you think. Okay, and that change in you is hard for other people to accept. Okay, it's hard for other people to accept, and that causes that division. Okay, so you got to be prepared for that. How people are going to respond to you, how they're going to react to you now that you've undergone this transformation. Okay, but the majority of the time, man, people don't like it. They can't handle it. They hate you because they hate the doctrine of the Yahweh Shai. They hate the truth. Okay, but in your mind, you got to be prepared for that. So you got to be prepared to go to war with your family members, your wife, your children. Okay, and do what is necessary for the gospel. Okay, if they end up being your enemies, then that's just what it is. They're your enemies. Okay, because they're trying to stop you. Okay, and we can't allow that to happen. Okay, if your woman's cool, if your brethren are cool, they're down with it, then that's all good. Then there's no issues. There is no issues. But the likelihood of it is that it's going to cause some anger and resentment towards you. Okay, so you have to be prepared for that. Okay, yeah, read on the next verse, Ark.
And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple.
Right. So if you're not able to do that, okay, if you're not able to forsake these things, okay, then you're not going to be able to be the Lord's disciple. Okay. If you could jump down to the 33rd verse, please, Ark.
If I may add, if that's all right with you, Ark. The sentiment of what Yahweh Shai is saying is basically be prepared for sacrifice. You know, for all those things that which were mentioned in that verse, man, and you know, you have to bear all the things that you go through living in Esau's world, whilst trying to live as close to righteousness as possible, following the righteousness of Yahweh Shai, man, as an example.
When others are not following that, and that's where the difficulty comes in. Because I say, I speak from my woman. One woman's been with me in this thing since I got into it. She'd be along for the ride. It's not all being Christy. You know what I mean? She's always gonna be resisting to a degree. Okay, and I understand that, I accept that, but she, like Scripture say, if it pleases her to dwell with you, that's just what the situation is. She wants to be around, even though it's painful and it's hard and all this kind of stuff. But that's the journey that you have to expect if you're gonna be with the man of the Lord. That's just what it's come part and parcel, man. We're gonna face adversities in this world, and she's gonna have to face them too. She's gonna have to face all the hardships being along with you. Okay, and that's just the real the matter. And there's all these kind of sacrifices that are involved in being in a relationship, that you can't maintain a normal healthy relationship. And that's with anybody, not even just your woman. That's with other family members that you might have been close with. I mean, I still see some of them. We're cool, but it's not the same. I don't, I'm not around there like ever. I might bump into them. I might drop in and say hello, but maybe there's maybe a family function going on. Maybe I might attend, maybe, but I don't talk to them. I don't really talk to them.
Can't.
Yeah,
it's true, man. Because when you first come into this thing, they become like adverse to you, adversaries almost.
Well, no, they are, because even though they can be nice to you, they don't agree with what it is that you're doing.
Can't.
Okay, and that's a big sticking issue. You don't agree with what I'm doing. You tolerate my presence, but you don't tolerate my views and opinions, which are not my own. Okay, which is the scriptures. Okay, you don't tolerate that. So as long as I'm not talking about that, we're probably okay.
They tolerate you, yeah.
But realistically, I don't really want to talk about anything other than that as a decent conversation. Because it's hard to conversate with people that you're just making idle chit chat. Really, you want to get into something juicy. You want to go into speaking about the word. But sometimes you can't deal with people like that. I mean, people at work, you don't talk about it necessarily in the scriptures unless they show some kind of interest in it. I mean, I've dabbled, at my own peril, but at most of the time, that stuff stays with me. And I go to work, come home, kind of stuff.
Luke 14:33.
Yeah.
So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple.
Okay, so you have to be prepared to sacrifice things and understand that you're not going to live a regular life. Okay, this is not like these Christians are good examples, man. These so-called Christians, man, they go about their everyday life doing normal stuff with no real effort in the word whatsoever. They go to church on a Sunday and they party the rest of the week or whatever. Party Sunday, Friday night, go to work Friday, Saturday, have a normal life. They're not being persecuted by nobody. That's ideal. That sounds lovely, man. I wish we could enjoy some of that, but it don't work the same way for us, man, because we're actually invested in the Lord. Okay, we actually believe in the Lord, and we actually believe in His word. Okay, and doing what is required of us to be accepted of the Lord. Okay, this isn't just lip service. This isn't just about going. We don't attend church, but this ain't just about going to church and listening to some sermons, man, and then coming home and believing that you're a man of the Lord. You ain't doing shit, and you're not keeping the word of the Heavenly Father true anyway. Okay, you're nothing but a bunch of hypocrites in those churches. Okay, but there's hypocrites amongst our own people, man, that believe that know they're Israelites. Okay, there's even hypocrites amongst them, amongst us. So, but the truth is, man, the road we have to walk is a hard road, and yet you face things. Okay, we're not here to appease our women. We're not here to appease our children. Okay, at the detriment of this truth, man, of serving the Lord.
Precept.
Can't I?
This is Matthew 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So that just shows you, man, our time, all those things that the people are in prosperity right now and enjoying those things, the brothers that are following after Yahushua, our time is with Yahushua in the kingdom.
That's right. And that's what we're working toward. We're working for a better future, man. You know, an everlasting kingdom. In the kingdom we can enjoy all things. And we had an infinite amount of time to enjoy it all. You know. But here the Lord is trying to prove you, man. The Lord is trying to prove whether or not you're about this word or not. You're about him. And the only way he can prove that is by testing you, man, and putting to you hard decisions and hard choices. Okay, obstacles in your way. You know, adversity. You know, the fires of adversity, man. And that's the only way it can be done. Okay, so if you're not really feeling the adversity, man, then the Lord ain't really dealing with you, man. You know, but every aspect of our lives frustrates us, man, because it ain't right. You know, it's not how you would like things to be, but it is the way it is, and you have to deal with that, man.
You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's
right. You know, and that's like, before you come in the truth, man, if you can get me that, what's it? A man that counteth the cost. Put count cost in the search. We weigh up whether or not we're able to finish, you know, what it is we're about to start. Okay?
Yeah, got it.
You got it? Yeah, can't read that.
Luke 14:28. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it?
Right, so basically before we got in the street, man, we had to really sit back and think about what it is that the Lord is asking us to do, and was we prepared to do that? Are we prepared to do that? Because at this point, in this moment in time, we have not lost all things. All things have not been taken from us, but we know as a very great possibility that will be the case at some point. And you have to know in yourself that you can cope with that, you can bear that, okay, and you can continue on regardless of all of that. Okay, so that's the counting the cost. What's it going to cost you, man? What are you prepared to sacrifice? The Most High may require all from you. Okay, he may require all things from you. Okay, he may not. Okay, time will tell.
Hey, Job was tried. His faith was tried.
Everything was taken from Job.
That's right. Even his flesh was afflicted.
That's right.
But he still kept the faith, and the Lord built him up, man. He broke him down and built him up. But like the brother was saying, man, adversity. How will you cope with the bread of adversity? You need to measure that in your mind and meditate on that. And when you obviously throughout the truth, you grow, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This thing ain't a thing of where you get involved because it's the thing to do, and all of a sudden you go through the adversity, and now because you're supposed to know what you're getting yourself into from the day dot.
Well, that's what I mean. Sometimes a man can't do this. He can't count the cost, and maybe a man never knows until he's put in that position, because only the Lord truly knows whether or not a man is going to succeed in it or not. Mm-hmm. You know, a man might think he'd be able to do something and then find out he can't. You know, but there's been many in the ministry, I think in the ministry even. You know, I know I've definitely heard of occasions where people have fallen out, you know, wherever camp they've been in, because of their woman or their family or stuff like that, because they can't operate like that. They can't deal with the fact that the woman hates them for putting them through hardships. You know, they can't stand being hated. People hate them. When I got in the street, you know, friends I used to hang around, I don't hang around with those friends anymore. My friends are my brethren. You know, I might go, you know, to a work doing that kind of stuff, maybe to chill or whatever, but they're not my friends. Okay, my brethren are my friends. And, you know, everybody else, man, those that did know you, they hate you. And you have to be able to bear that people hate you, that people are gonna hate you. Your woman hates you, okay? From time to time, you know. She might say she loves you from time to time, but a lot of the time she's fucking angry. A lot of the time she's frustrated, you know, just like we're frustrated. You know, but you gotta be prepared that you have to know that that's what it's gonna be like. Okay, and you have to be able to enjoy it for however long you need to enjoy it for, man. Okay, it might not be, you know, where it hasn't been for us. You know, it might not be for a year, it might be for 7-8 years plus going on, depending on, you know, when you came in this truth. And you know, you have to prepare your mind for that.
Hey, you know, scriptures say it's better if for brothers who don't have a woman, not to seek a woman.
You know, and sometimes it's a hard thing for brothers, man. You know, we're the men at the end of the day. Those that don't have women, you know, they lust sometimes after a woman, and you know, there's nothing wrong to want to have a woman. You know, hey, it might even bring you some sanity, you know, for a peace.
Balance.
But you know, to do this work, it's easier not to have one if you haven't already got one. You know, and that's explained in the scriptures. You know.
Matthew 19:29, and everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and last shall be first. So yeah, there you had it, man. You had a long list so that you can understand that there's much things that men in this world would seek after, but at the same time we seek after Yahweh Shai. So we esteem Yahweh Shai greater than many riches, or whatever gain you can gain from this world. Having a new baby, getting a wife you've always wanted, having a house, having a car. All that is vanity if you don't have Yahweh Shai.
The so-called simple life.
Come on.
You know, don't get twisted. Jake would have, you know, love nothing but to have a simple life, man. In scripture tell you, man, as a plain man dwelling in tents. Jake just wants to chill. That's the majority of our people, just want to chill. But that's what, on the flip side, doesn't make them good disciples. Because life ain't gonna be simple. Okay, life ain't gonna be simple. Life is gonna be, you know, fairly complicated in a sense, you know, because you got to maneuver around in this world knowing that you're not a part of this world, man. Okay, and you know, you get accustomed to doing that, you know, but it's at the sacrifice of, you know, people's feelings and stuff like that. You know, people's emotions. Okay, can you get me Matthew chapter 10 verse 34, please?
Matthew 10 verse 34, it says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace but a sword.
Yeah, go on.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
So this is what the truth does. It sets that variance, man, for those who believe in the truth and those that don't believe in the truth. Okay, those who partially believe in the truth, which means, you know, they offer less resistance, but they still offer resistance, i.e. maybe a woman, depending on how long you've been with her, if she knows the truth and that, you know. But ultimately, man, they're not gonna be on your page. Okay, so there is always gonna be resistance. Okay, and that causes division. You know, and they don't like certain decisions that you make based off your knowledge. You know. Hold on a second. Let me just move this clock. Okay, yeah. So lucky for that. But yeah, you know, there's always going to be some form of resistance when you make certain decisions, or you know. Because the way our mind is wired in this truth is completely different for those that are in the world, man. They can't understand certain things. It's like, you know, on things like my mother-in-law, for instance, always talking about getting married and about that. Okay, that's not in my intentions right now. My woman knows this, you know, but they can't understand that. All right, and you know, I've explained it, whatever, you know, but because it's a worldly thing to in this world. Not that there's nothing wrong getting married, but in the kingdom is when we gonna do all this stuff. Right here, it's just vanity. Okay, but you know, they want to have this occasion because, you know, we've been together such a long time or whatever it is, you know, but that is not in my mind. Okay, there is no need for me to do that, you know. And you know, I have my own issues, you know, with it as other things, but they can't understand these things, you know, and it upsets them. Hey, it is what it is, man. You know, if my woman don't like it, then, you know, it's whatever, man. She can do what she wants to do, but you know, she ain't gonna stop me, you know, doing this, you know, doing this work. Okay, she doesn't like the way I deal with things, and that she has to deal with that or not deal with that. I mean, she can go elsewhere. Okay, but the scripture does explain these things in these situations, you know, about the unbelieving wife. You know, so it is what it is at the end of the day. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Zechariah 13:8, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. All right. So the two parts is talking about the 2/3, and the 1 part is talking about the elect, the 1/3. All right. And it says, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried.